Hey friends, I want to talk to you about mold today, specifically attic mold. Now we run into these situations after home inspections during a real estate transaction, sometimes after an energy audit where the power company has somebody, a vendor come out and do an energy audit on your property to help you make your home more energy efficient. And sometimes folks will go up there and they'll see some staining or something going on they don't recognize and they'll call it mold. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. And our clients call us to help figure out what's actually going on. And we can see anything up there from dark staining or discoloration, but it's all in the wood and there's no three-dimensional growth. And sometimes we see actual three-dimensional growth where it's furry or fuzzy, and it could be anything blue to green or white. And sometimes we see both where it's dark staining and also three-dimensional growth. Oftentimes that dark staining is from moisture. And a lot of people think that these situations where mold might be growing in their attic is coming from hot, humid weather. Fact is, here in northern regions, most of this is happening during the winter time when heat is getting up into that space and condensing on the cold sheathing and rafters and causing an issue. And the top three contributors to that are not enough insulation or gaps in insulation, bathroom fans that aren't vented properly, and unbalanced ventilation. So when we look at gaps in insulation or not enough insulation, if you go up into your attic and you take a look and there's just a layer of insulation between the joists and nothing higher, that's probably not enough. And you need to add some additional insulation. You can go to, I believe it's energy.gov, and they can give you the recommendations based on where you live, the temperate zone within the country. And so here in northern regions where it gets cold, new construction is now at R39 and higher. So you're going to need to add another layer of at least R30 on there. We also see problems where there's gaps in insulation, and these could be around where utilities go through the ceiling, recessed lighting, especially if it's not rated for insulation, can be a huge contributor because there's no insulation on it because it's not rated and it could be a fire hazard, and heat just pours up through there. Plus, even LED bulbs give off some heat, and that contributes to adding heat into that space. Some of the other big things that we find are around the attic access panel. A lot of times it's just 3/8 inch plywood or sheetrock sitting on some trim with no insulation. So we always recommend some weather stripping around the edge and definitely getting some insulation on the back of that. Those pull down ladders, you know, where they kind of unfold and you walk up the ladder into your attic, those are a big area and often go uninsulated. They make some good products to insulate those better, but some of these places are where that heat's pouring up into that attic during winter time. Whole house fans, even though they're less common, are one of the things that we'll see and recommend that people find a way to insulate during the cold weather. Bathroom fans. A well-ventilated bathroom fan should go through the roof or through a gable end. They shouldn't go to the soffit or even through a wall below the soffit, because what happens is, especially if you have soffit and ridge ventilation in your attic, that hot, moist air gets vented outside and goes right back up in that soffit vent, back up into your attic, and could be causing a significant problem. The well-ventilated bathroom fans should go the shortest route, whether that's through the roof or through a gable end, because you want that fan to be getting all that hot, moist air out of your bathroom, or if you don't, there could be a mold problem in your bathroom. And then the last one is unbalanced ventilation, and I say unbalanced because attic ventilation is all about having an even amount of air coming in as going out, so that it can free flow. It's not creating any negative pressure and pulling on that the heat from the living space below. And one other key thing is we find that people who have pellet stoves or wood stoves tend to keep their house warmer than those using oil or natural gas, either because the fuel source is cheaper or they need to heat it up a lot in one spot so that it radiates to the rest of the house. And when that happens, you need to consider keeping more insulation in your attic to hold that heat in a living space. It'll be more energy efficient and it'll cause fewer problems in your attic. So I recommend going up there at least once a year during cold weather, see if there's any discoloration or suspect growth. One of the things we often see is frost on nails. If we go up into an attic in January, it's supposed to be cold as it is outside. If it's 30 degrees outside and 70 degrees in the house and it's 50 degrees in the attic, I guarantee you there's going to be a problem in that attic. So go up, take a look, check it out. We've seen frost on sheathings because that moisture gets up there and starts to freeze. I've seen as much as a 1/4 inch of ice on an attic sheathing, and that's going to melt and it's going right through somebody's living room. So go and check those things out, see if it's a problem, and call us or another reputable company who can come and evaluate it for you, and not just clean it and remediate it, but figure out what's causing it in your home or your property so that it won't come back again. And that's what's really important. It's not just about getting rid of the mold. It's about fixing the moisture problem so that it doesn't come back again. Thanks. I'll see you around.